Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
As Jesus passed by, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the custom post. He said to him, "Follow me." And he got up and followed him. While he was at table in his house, many tax collectors and sinners came and sat with Jesus and his disciples. The Pharisees saw this and said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" He heard this and said, "Those who are well do not need a physician, but the sick do. Go and learn the meaning of the words, 'I desire mercy, not sacrifice.' I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners." My sisters and brothers, the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
We can look at that first reading from Amos, the great prophet, and see how callous people can become. That people who have riches are still cheating and exploiting people who are poor, and don't see anything wrong with it and keep doing it. And again, can there be such callousness? And of course, we see the Lord saying there's consequences to this in terms of how they live, and reminding us from the very beginning that when we sin, especially sin gravely, sin against those who have so much less, there obviously can be consequences. We see in the gospel it really comes out there, and especially on this feast of Maria Goretti, where Jesus says, "Go and learn the meaning of the words, 'I desire mercy, not sacrifice.'" Because probably going back to Amos, a lot of these people were going to the synagogue, they were following the religious traditions, they were probably thinking they were very pious because they were offering prayers to God and all of that. But the way they were living certainly showed it wasn't authentic, it wasn't true. Whether they saw it or not, or whether they wanted to believe, that's part of the difficulty of being callous, to not even realize, hey, what we're doing here is wrong and totally opposite of what we're praying. We all have to watch out, hopefully not in that kind of extreme, but we all have to take a deeper look at ourselves and say, when I pray here, how do I live throughout the day? And how can I call upon the Lord to help me and others, and by my witness, live better? How can I recognize I need to be merciful? And of course, now we can go back to Maria Goretti, a powerful example. She dies at 11 years of age in 1902. And as she was dying, she was stabbed 14 times. They take her to the hospital, and she forgives the fellow who was doing it before she dies. Wow, you know, to even understand that and believe that. And the difference that made in his life. You know, he served a prison sentence for 27 years for that. He immediately got out of prison, came back to Maria's mother and begged forgiveness. And the mother immediately gave him forgiveness. Eventually, he ended up becoming a lay brother in a monastic tradition. Actually lived till around 1970. And so we see the difference Maria Goretti made in a horrible situation of showing him God's mercy, God's forgiveness, and also showing her own beautiful example at a young age, that she followed the way of Jesus even as she was dying. May we follow the way of Jesus even as we are living, and especially be able to ask for and receive and pass on mercy, which is the very heart of God's love. So if there's anybody right now and we're holding a gripe against or resentment against or negative, we can have legitimate concerns, but at the same time, we're called to be forgiving. If Maria Goretti could do it today, we're being inspired to do it in our everyday lives. Take a moment. God bless you.